my nanny situation.
I just had to fire my nanny, and I want you to tell me if I am underreacting or overreacting to the situation.
If you are the parent of a small baby, I am warning you now because this video is going to piss you off. My greatest fear come to life as a mom because you trust with your literal heart outside of your body. Then my mom comes in and actually tells me what happened, what would have happened if she wasn't there. So you could tell me if I under or overreacted to that situation. I recently had a little video go viral of my nanny situation. I'll show you the video. We'll go into detail about what happened. I'll give you more behind the scenes because it is absolutely crazy that this happened. And I'm still furious about it. It's been months and I'm still rage. But I want to give you a little insight first. Why do we have a nanny? How do you pick a nanny? How do you trust another nanny after something like this happens? The hard facts of it are, you need childcare. I work a full-time job. No, quitting my job is not an option. Stop suggesting it. If you're not saying the same thing to his dad, don't say it to me.
I was on a work call, and I told her that he had a bottle. Put the 4 ounces in here and let him drink it. It's one of those bottles that he just bites the top and it comes out. Super easy.
There are some crazy people out there that get into the childcare industry, and they shouldn't be there. Watching a baby is not easy. Anybody can do it. Work. My cat has a better maternal instinct than this person had. Not an overstatement, by the way. There are tons of terrible situations that we hear online about nannies, and I never thought that I was going to be one of them. And it was like my greatest fear come to life as a mom because you are doing everything that you can to try and find someone that is safe and that you trust with your literal heart outside of your body. This little tiny infant that cannot help themselves. There's a video going around right now of the mom that looked in on the security camera and saw the nanny sleeping and the child falling down the stairs, and the nanny is just asleep the entire time. Terrifying.
You know, the babysitter's supposed to be taking her in, and look, she doesn't even react to that one. My baby fell back in.
There's another video of a neighbor that the mom knew well that just left 3 young kids at home alone. One of them was under a year old.
You can tell me. Okay, so you explain to me, before we go in, explain to me what happened.
We have attached houses. It's the perfect babysitter. I come home every day on my lunch. I only have a 30-minute lunch. And my kids are 1, 2, and 4. They cannot take care of themselves. I'm just really upset that my son just told me that she told them that she was not coming back.
So she's not here now?
No.
And you don't know where she is? You haven't spoken to her?
Oh, I have messages to show you.
Why are people like this? Why do people do this? Anyway, there is hope at the end of this because we did have to find someone else, but it took us a really long time. And you can never be too careful with who you have watching your kids. Trust your mommy instinct. Trust it. Do not let anybody gaslight you into not trusting it. Even if you're like, maybe this is a little too extreme. Trust it. I don't care. Be crazy. Be crazy when it comes to protecting your baby. So let's get into it. Let me paint a picture for you of our nanny situation and what we needed in our home to help take care of our baby, because I feel like it's kind of a good gig. I want to preface this by saying both me and dad work from home. Fantastic situation because we wanted to be able to be home with our baby. We didn't want to drop them off at daycare. We didn't want them to be alone with someone else for multiple hours in the day. We wanted to be able to be there, one, because I'm nursing still, and my baby was not taking a bottle. That part will be important for later, so just store that in your noggin. But I genuinely like to be able to go take a break from work and spend some time with my baby. Having childcare for us is not only necessary for us to be able to work and make money, but it's also that I can recoup myself. I can get a little bit of a break. I can take a shower. I can go play a video game for a little bit and feel like I'm recharging my battery to show up for my son better. Controversial, I know. Taking a break as a parent, how dare I? But alas, this is what we needed. This is what we wanted. So we wanted someone in our home 5 days a week, 6 hours a day to help us have that time to get everything else done. We didn't ask them to clean. We didn't ask them to cook. Literally, when our baby was napping, we're like, enjoy your free time. Take a break. If you need to go to the bathroom, hand me my baby. I'll watch him for 20 minutes. Happy to do so. I want to be there with my kid in the day when I have free time. That's the point of having a nanny inside of our home and not dropping them off at daycare for us. We work hard so that we can have that lifestyle. That is what we wanted. I know that's not available for everybody. I'm not judging your situation. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. All I'm saying is that's what we wanted for our family. That's the situation we wanted to create. All right? Have whatever opinions you want about it. Now, I went through a very extensive process with vetting. Apparently not extensive enough, but I even got down to the, are we going to get along in our beliefs of vaccines and science? I'm gonna need this person to understand if you are sick, don't come. She got my baby sick once. Should have been the first red flag, honestly, but again, I didn't trust that instinct of like, what's going on here? Something wrong? Something happening? And the number one question everybody asked when I originally posted this story was, how old was she? Because they thought I was hiring some little teeny bopper to take care of my baby. No offense to the teenagers that are babysitting, because I do have a teenager of one of my best friends that comes and helps us with our baby who is more capable of taking care of him than she was. Make that make sense. She was 27 or 28. Prefrontal cortex fully developed. We should have been beyond this. I should have noticed the red flags leading up to this, and I did notice the red flags leading up to this. And I thought I could mitigate them by having conversations and giving feedback. But some of the things leading up were, she started to want to go outside to the park more than once a day, which, take our son to the park, absolutely, go outside. But when it's hot out, be here. And we're not working on your schedule. You're here to help us with our schedule. So no, I'm not going to nurse him early so you can go to the park and spend extra time there. That's not how this works. And I get that some people aren't really comfortable with the parents being there and micromanaging and feeling like they're just looking over your shoulder the whole time. But we really didn't want it to be that way. And that's not what we were trying to do. But as a new nanny, you also got to understand that the parents don't trust you fully yet. This is a building trust situation, not a you get to do whatever you want the way you want with my baby. Parents are still the people setting all of the rules. I get so worked up just talking about this because it just doesn't make sense to me how we got to this logical solution that she came up with. So let's paint the picture of what happened. And you can tell me if I am overreacting or underreacting to this situation. I had a work call at night. My husband was on a work trip, so he wasn't home. Now, my work call sometimes can go for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it was getting up to bedtime. That's kind of, and the overlap is like, sometimes he's asleep, sometimes he's like about to go to sleep after my call, sometimes he's asleep before my call. So it's kind of crapshoot on the day. I nursed him. At this point, he was eating every 2 to 3 hours, not fully on solids yet. And I had nursed him right before my call. That's important. I had pumped a bottle just in case. And I told her it was a just in case bottle. If he gets hungry, you can try to give him this. If he's not hungry, he's not going to eat. And also, I'm right there, very close. If there is an issue, if you have a question, you can always text me. I will be able to respond. I can take a break from my call and come out and talk to you. It is never that serious. They knew that. And he wasn't hungry. So he didn't want a bottle. We were getting in the rhythm of learning how to drink from a bottle again. If he was hungry enough, he would like figure it out. And this was before I learned about weighted straws for bottles. And the problem that he was having is he wanted to hold it by himself, but he didn't know how to do the tilting motion. And then he just didn't want to latch on a bottle. There was the wrong type of nipple. There were a lot of things with why he wasn't really liking a bottle as his preferred method of drinking milk. Dad could do it. It was just a little bit of patience. You just had to have patience with him. And if he wasn't interested, he wasn't interested. If he's not fussing and crying, we don't need to force him to drink a bottle. So an hour after my call started, she decides to try to give him the bottle. He's not interested in it. He doesn't want it. Her solution was to remove the top of the bottle and try to pour it in his mouth. Now, I understand that there are some babies at 6 months old that start to drink from an open cup like that. That's perfectly fine. You do whatever you want to do. That's not my baby. We hadn't tried that yet. That wasn't an option. Wasn't on the cards for us. So definitely not the nanny's decision to be able to try that for the first time. He also was not sitting in his high chair, and she was not holding him for this. He was sitting in one of those like play activity centers, and the only reason I knew that something had happened is because my mom happened to be there and happened to come home and walk in on my baby choking and coughing on milk because she was literally pouring it down his throat. Thank goodness she walked in when she did and saw it, because that's why it stopped. I ruminate on the thoughts of like, what would have happened if she wasn't there? What would have happened if I let her do bath time that night? What could have happened to my baby? And that's not the worst part of it. The problem is, okay, my mom walked in, questioned what the was going on. It stopped. She took him upstairs. He was drenched in milk, so he had to take off his clothes. He was still coughing as they went upstairs. And my mom hears her going, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I get off my call. My baby is asleep. I go and debrief with my nanny, and she's like rushing out the door. She's like, "I gotta go. Yeah, something, a little bit happened. I tried to feed him the bottle. It just took the top off," and leaves. I'm like processing. I'm like, what? Okay. You took the top off. He drank a little bit. Cool. Fine. Then my mom comes in and actually tells me what happened. And I am fuming. As a nanny, things are going to happen with your child. It is inevitable. I understand. You gotta tell the parents what happens and not brush it under the rug is no big deal. And you definitely don't lie about it. Because when I text her to clarify what happened, here's what she said. Straight up lying, trying to blame my dog? I'm sorry, no. Take some accountability, ma'am. That was it for me. And if you're wondering how to fire your nanny, this is how you do it. Now, I wanted to call the police, fight her. I was pacing up and down the kitchen all day. For 24 hours after the fact, I was just enraged at this situation. Not only worried about my baby, I was like, do I need to go wake him up and make sure he's not going to drown in his sleep because he could have gotten something in his lungs. I didn't sleep that night and I was watching the monitor like a hawk. And then we didn't have a nanny for like a month and a half, and that was really, really hard. The thought of finding a new nanny afterwards was also terrifying for me because how do you trust anyone after that? I thought I was doing everything that I could. I thought having them in my home and being there and having an open line of communication were all of the things that I needed to do to make sure my baby was safe. Clearly, you can't take your eyes off of anybody. But we did find someone new, and they are an amazing, perfect fit. We get along so well. We have the same parenting styles. I needed to find someone who has done it before. My nanny now has 4 kids. 3 of which are off at college. So clearly she's figured something out. This is not to say that you can't be young and be a good nanny, okay? I don't want anybody thinking that that's the situation. But personally, I'm never gonna trust anybody again with my baby that has not had babies, except my friend's daughter, because I know her parenting style and I know how responsible she and her child are. Like that. But again, she's never home alone with my baby. As he gets older, obviously, he doesn't need as intensive care and a watchful eye. Literally, it's just playing with him now. There is very little care that goes into watching a baby his age versus when he was 6 months old and needed to be held, carried, fed every hour. Like something has to be done continuously to make sure he is okay. Now, it's like, oh, okay, we change your diaper after you wake up from a nap. You nap for an hour and a half at a time. He's easy now. But let me tell you, nothing is going to send you into a rage more than someone harming your baby. Sure, moms are known for being nurturing and kind and loving, but you know what Mother Nature is defined as? The lioness that beats the shit out of somebody to protect her baby. It is the unstoppable forces of nature, and honestly, mostly the gory parts of nature. That's Mother Nature. Moms go from kind, soft, gentle, nurturing, to you look at me the wrong way, you're dead real quick. That's Mother Nature. You think I'm wrong? Ask any mother. It's instinctual. It's not something you have control over at that point in time. It's inherent. So you could tell me if I under or overreacted to that situation, because everybody online except for the 3 people that made fun of the way I talked, which I'm pretty sure were just part of my Reddit hate group with their fake accounts, say that she's crazy, absolutely insane. And it just feels so violating when you let somebody into your home, you give them your trust, you have no other option than trusting them with your baby. It almost feels like a gamble. And I know that there are more positive nanny stories out there than there are bad ones, because we only hear the bad ones. We only focus on the bad ones. Those are the ones that get the news and the headlines and we go, oh my gosh, how could somebody do this to a baby? But there are so many more good stories that are just casual, boring, everyday, positive interactions that we don't hear about. So if you're watching this video and you're like, oh my God, I'm terrified to get a nanny. I don't want to drop my babies off at daycare. How can I trust anything happening? I just have to quit my job. I hear you. I feel you. It's a very real, scary moment. But I want everyone to leave a comment of the positive situations that you have. And I will tell you all the amazing things about our current nanny that made me feel restored in humanity. Because it is hard. In this crazy world, we have to trust somebody else to watch our babies. And while it would be all fine and dandy if mom and dad got a year off to be able to just raise their baby and not have to worry about finances, that's not the reality that the majority of us live in, unfortunately. Although I do think it should be the standard, but whatever. I can't change that right now. Our new nanny is the best thing that could have happened to our family. She was getting her paperwork all in order to start her own daycare at home, and then realized she wanted to wait to let her kid get to college first because they're still living at home. So she shifted gears and went the nanny route. But she already has the background check, the educational classes, certifications, and she has worked in the school district and in childcare while her kids were growing up. And she just genuinely loves babies. Like if you see her interact with my son, it is the cutest thing because she cannot help herself from playing with the little toys, making up little puppet games. It's adorable. And sometimes we think that she likes playing with the toys more than he does. But finding someone that just genuinely loves babies and is calm and peaceful and brings just a soothing energy and can be regulated and patient, that's what you need to find. They're out there. I promise they're out there. Trying to vet for them is difficult, but some other red flags that I can share with you in interviews is make sure you pay attention to things that come up multiple times. Because we were doing one interview. At this point, my baby was 7 months old. And the person kept bringing up discipline. Look, I understand that when they get to a toddler age, being on the same page as the parents with discipline is important. But if we're talking about a 7-month-old and you bring up discipline 7 times, that's a red flag. I'm not disciplining my baby yet. So my mom flag went, no. I hope this story didn't enrage you too much because my blood is boiling again and I need to go meditate to calm down before I go hang out with my baby when my nanny leaves. So thank you for joining me on another adventure of Just Jordan Things, and I will see you on the next one. Hopefully there won't be another one like this. There will not be another video like this. Bye.